Hello, future bestsellers. We are super glad to see you here today. I hope you notice I do not look like a ghost on today's stream. Well, I don't know. I probably don't look like
You
a
don't
ghost
look
on
like a
today's
ghost.
stream. Thank goodness. Every week, paler and paler. I'm not quite sure. And I didn't have to close my windows because the horror geek came in and made a magical change on my camera. So now I don't look like a ghost. Ooh. It's great for Halloween, not so much for every day. So I am super excited to be here today because we have like big news for one of our regulars, which I'm super excited about. But before we get into all that, let's go ahead and do our introductions. Laney says, "Can Horror Geek come help with my?" He probably do a Zoom consult for you, Laney. So Story Detective, now that you've muted yourself, tell us a little about your channel. Thanks so much for being here today.
Well, my channel is The Story Detective, where I take various forms of storytelling and put them under my Sherlockian lens to break down the craft for the viewer. And if all goes well, I'll be starting the filming next week.
Hey.
What? Yay! Wait, hold on. You know what this calls for? I think we all know. Dun, dun, dun. I am so excited. You are going to be filming next week. Look at us all fancy. Me, now you, and Michelle need to come back at some point. Because you guys both have so much like backlist as far as your previous videos. So you could just keep going through, rewatch all of those. And then by the time you're done, back to filming. So
That's right.
love that. Speaking of Michelle and her awesome channel, tell us a little about you and your temporarily on hiatus channel.
Yes, my name is Michelle Schusterman. I write young adult and middle grade novels, and my on hiatus channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Blogs.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
I am Lisa Daly. And on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. I am both traditionally and indie published, and I write contemporary romance and nonfiction advice. So we have big news about one of our own today. I am super excited about that. Let me see if I can get my little thing here. All right, I'm going to share the screen. Actually, I'm going to click on it first because sometimes StreamYard gets a little confused. All right, here we go. So, dun. Miss Lady Davis is featured in her local paper today, Pittsburgh City paper. And meet the local author, Steaming Up Pittsburgh with sexy new take. I love it. I love it. And I was like, as soon as I saw this first picture, I was like, hey, that looks like Lady. And then it is like, look how cute this is. Like such a sort of like Pittsburgh vibe. I really love that. This. So I put the link in the chat so you guys can read this on the Wormwood Sprint or later if you want to. This picture right here, the money shot. Look at this. We've got the Millvale Community Library here. These books are clearly being read. Like those things are worn out. They've been wept on and hot flashed on. Those books are getting some action. So I love that. I think this is like that is like the shot that is gonna get you some book sales for sure. But I love this. It's a great piece. And there's some other authors featured as well. But Lady Davis. So I just love this. It's absolutely fantastic. You guys should definitely check it out. It's always good to see romance authors getting a little love around Valentine's Day. So lucky us, we've got our famous celebrity right here in the chat today. So welcome, Lady. I'm super excited to have you today. I'm excited that you're here every week, but we're really proud of you. That is super awesome. And I almost never do this twice in a stream, but you deserve it. All right, we are super excited for you. That is completely awesome. So let us know in the chat, you guys, what you are going to be working on today. Michelle, what are you working on today?
I'm going to be first. I need to get a Substack up for Friday, which I've already started, and then after that, I'm going to be working on my mystery novel.
Yay, fantastic. Very nice. Robert, aka the story detective Jones, what are you going to be working on today?
I'm going to be working on the current draft of my novel, and I've had a very productive week so far, so I am raring to get going.
Nice, very nice. I'm super excited about that. That's fantastic. I am working on a script today, actually, YouTube script, which is written, but I previously recorded it, but it was there was an error with the recording, and so I have to re-record it, which I think is a gift because even though the topic is great, the way that I wrote it was a little bit confusing. So I'm gonna straighten out those kinks today. Let's say hi to our friends in the chat. You guys tell us what you're working on today. Lainey wants to know if the horror geek can come help with her camera. Yes, yes, he'd be happy to. Woohoo, Robert! Yay! Cool Gamer's here. Hello, Cool Gamer. We are super excited you're here today. Free Range Female is back. Good morning to you. eCar eBooks, thank you so much. No, you are. eCar eBooks. Anybody having trouble formatting covers for paperbacks lately on Amazon? That is an excellent question, and we will get back to it when we come back from our 5-minute warm-up sprint. So let's get rolling with our early sprints. Ooh, Mary says, I missed Robert's woohoo thing. Say it again, please, Robert. Tell us the big news. We need a drum roll.
Well, I am going to be starting my YouTube channel filming next week. I have a batch of videos to start on, and I'm going to film a whole bunch of things so that by spring, when I get the channel going, I won't have to film every week. I'll be a little bit ahead of the game.
Yay! We are super excited to have you back. Very nice. Very, very nice. Not that you ever left YouTube, but you know what I mean. Avi's here. Thank you very much. I'm extra fancy today. I brushed my hair and everything. That's because I'll be recording a video later. You guys know on Wednesdays you get casual Lisa. So I mean, pretty much every day is casual Lisa. You know me. Daisy's here. Hello, Daisy. We are super, super glad to see you. Mary, we're just glad you're here. We don't care if you're late. So yay! She's super excited about that, Robert. Fantastic. I know I'm very excited. So when are you thinking your first post hiatus video is going to go up, or is that where we don't have a date yet?
Sometime in April is
Okay.
the thing I'm looking at. Once I get off of my hiatus for taking the winter months off and probably a lot closer to finishing this draft, then I'll start rolling with other things. I have a website ready to go, and maybe if all goes well, there will be a second website for the art, but I need to get the art finished before I can do the website.
What? That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Mama Ward is here. Hello. Super glad you made it today. All right. Let's go ahead and get warmed up with our very first 5-minute sprint. We're just going to put 5 minutes on the clock. Of course, it's not pulling up. Hold on. There we go. We're going to put 5 minutes on the clock so you can get your document open, figure out what you're going to work on today, get yourself a snack or a caffeinated beverage, whatever you need. All right, everybody, who's ready to go? We're going to get started with our first, yay! We're going to get started with, I am extra caffeinated today. Well, you know what it is? It's because I saw Lainey's article first thing this morning. So, okay, getting started with our 5-minute warm-up sprint in 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. All right, we are back. So glad to have everybody here today. So we're super, super excited about. All right, so we have a couple of questions. Let me get rid of this banner because it's going to make me crazy. Where it's hiding. There we go. All right, so a couple of good questions, or one question so far, and then something I wanted to say for Lainey for that article. Because I think that you can sort of get an extra little bit of mileage out of that thing. So let's answer this question first. Has anybody been having trouble formatting covers for paperbacks lately on Amazon? I have not had any problems, and I haven't had any clients that have problems. What kind of trouble are you having with that? I know a lot of people, when they are trying to format their covers, will format for Ingram Spark first, and theirs are always just like a smidge off, like a 7/1000ths of an inch. But it can screw things up on Amazon. You do have to have slightly different sizes. For Ingram's paperback versus Amazon. But anybody else having any trouble with that? Let us know. And then we'll circle back on that question. All right, here we go. So, I want to bring this up. So we talked a little bit about the article that came out with about Lainey and some other Pittsburgh authors today. And I wanted to bring this up. I talked about this a little bit earlier. This is such a great shop because you clearly have these well-loved books and the Millvale Community Library on there. And if this came out about me today, what I would do is reach out to every library in Pittsburgh, or not in Pittsburgh, well, every library in Pittsburgh, but I'd reach out to every library in Pennsylvania and send them this article and tell them how to order your books. That's what I would do.
Yes.
Excuse me. Okay. And one thing you guys should know about selling to libraries is that typically, if you write in a series, if they buy the first book in the series, they will typically auto order the rest of the books in the series. So every time you have a new one coming out, you get a bunch of library sales for the libraries that are already carrying it, because they know that their patrons want to read through the entire series. So they've already invested in the first book or the first couple of books. They will typically buy the rest. So
Good tip.
yeah, kiss up to your libraries, everybody. I mean, libraries are awesome anyway, but you definitely want to, help them help you. Okay. Excuse me. All right, let's see what we've got here. Avi's got a good question. What's the story behind your name? My full name, Avion, is derived from airplane in Spanish and French. True to form, I love travel and adventure. It's hard to keep me grounded. Oh, I love that. I wish my name were like more, exciting. It's not that exciting. It's just like my regular name. And Lisa, I think it was like a very popular name during the time I was born. I will say though, having grown up with such a boring name my entire life. And Michelle, I know that you maybe had a similar experience to me, that in every class you were ever in, or every friend group you've ever had, there's always another Michelle.
There is a Michelle and a Lisa.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Like every friend group I have includes at least one Lisa and a Michelle, which is kind of, and like in addition to me. So yeah, there's a lot of us. And the funny thing is, because of that, I tried to find names for my kids that were a little bit different. Not so different, that they hate me, but different enough where they wouldn't be one of 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it worked out okay. Turns out I was sort of a trendsetter on one. Well, and kind of on the other. And then another famous person was born with my daughter's name. And so that it worked out okay, but didn't work out perfectly. But it's not, but they don't have a million friends with their same names. All right. How about you? Anything? Well, we've got Robert, Michelle, and Lisa. Not the most
Not unusual names.
Right. No, but I love your Avi. I love your name. I think it's fantastic. Anybody else want to share?
Well, having the second most common name on the planet, or at least in the country, Growing up, I was frequently asked if that was my real name. I would go to places when I started to get a little older, and they're like, "Is that an assumed name?" Yeah, I assume it's mine. It's most original, but
It's so funny because you do get that question a lot as an author if your name is like, I mean, Lisa Daly. Like, you can't get any like more blah than that. Like, it's boring. It's boring. Like, let's just all.
It's a
It's
good last name.
it is.
It's a great last name.
Thank you. But it's like short. It's easy to squiggle your signature, so it is a great author name. And it's pretty easy to spell. Although Daly does have like 57 different Daly spellings, but yeah, it's okay. So, anybody else have an exciting? So I know some authors write under pen names. I did not. There are times when I wish I had, and then other times when I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I was going to, just because of the commonality of the name, and then I came up with several pen names, and in the long run, after living with it for a little while, I didn't like any of them. So I just said, you know what? I just need to be me and make this common name stand for something.
I love it. Well, and you already did that at Marvel. So, yeah, I think as you get deeper into author world, I think that'll be a good decision. Plus, Robert Jones, easy to sign at a book signing. The last thing right, Schusterman, you're going to have a lot more wear and tear there. You're going to have like carpal tunnel from, if you have a really good signing, you might have to go right to the ER afterwards. So, yeah.
Even Robert Jones can get tiring if you sign enough books.
That's true. These are the kind of troubles that all authors are praying for. So very nice. Avi, it's so funny that you say that, because one of my son's teachers in like the third grade used to tell him he should be a reporter, and he would always come into her class and say, "Quinn Daly reporting daily." Robert Jones does sound like a detective, right? Like old school, Flatfoot, that kind of.
Maybe there's something to that. So.
There you go. Michelle Schusterman sounds like a librarian, very bookish.
Take it.
It does. This is nice. Okay, wait, hold on. We've got first and second. So Magdalena got shortened to Maggie, which became Mama Maggie, shortened to MM for author name. Love, love, love that. Ward is from my grandmother's family because there are only 4 sons, 3 grandsons in the entire extended family. Oh my gosh, so it's all ladies. You know what? I read a book, gosh, it's been a long time ago, probably 15 years ago, called Why Beautiful People Have More Daughters. And it's written by 2 evolutionary biologists, and it explains a lot of fascinating stuff. Like, we should not be surprised by the fact that politicians always get caught in sex scandals, because the only reason to become a politician or win an election in the first place is to have more access to more reproductive partners. And there have been studies that more powerful people tend to have more sons, and more attractive people have more daughters, which is I know, it's a fascinating book.
It's interesting.
It's a fascinating book. It had a lot of it almost reminded me of it's like the Freakonomics of the evolutionary biology world. It was a really good read. It had a lot of really interesting takes on things that you don't typically see. And I don't know, I always love that stuff. I have a lot of curiosity about a lot of weird stuff. So I think this is why the horror geek and I get along so well. This is more like in a specific area. I really, well, mine probably is too, but anyway.
When I was thinking in terms of putting my name on my book, I thought, put the initials SD after it. Nobody will know what the hell it means until then they'll figure it out.
I love that. That's fantastic. That's very cool. I really like that. First of all, people are going to be looking up like SD. What does that sound for?
Yeah, exactly.
And
some kind of doctor.
And then exactly, which is absolutely fantastic. But the other thing is, you almost never want to put I shouldn't say that. There are a lot of authors who write with a middle initial. It's not so bad anymore, but it used to be a big problem, because like if your name was Michelle Schusterman, but it said Michelle K. Schusterman on your book cover, Amazon maybe wouldn't pull up your book if somebody just typed in Michelle Schusterman, or obviously it's a lot better now, but like 5 or 10 years ago, an initial could really mess you up versus now, not such a big deal. So make up your own ST. Good. Right. I agree that. Right. I'm sure this is true, Avi. Love that. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get to our first actual long 20-minute sprint. I think I've got everybody's questions answered. I do want to talk about eCar, ebooks. Let us know specifically what trouble you're having with formatting paperback covers for Amazon. And we'll see if we can help you out. I think Lainey uploads a lot. She might have some advice for you. Mama Ward says, also, MM Ward makes a nice, and if I write the M's and W's pointy, it looks like mountains and valleys, hence Colorado author branding. Love it.
Ooh, those are nice loopy names or letters for a signature.
Yeah, they really are. Right? They really are. Right. Well, the thing is, after you've done a few book signings, if you like, originally when I first started signing books, I would literally write out my entire name, even though that was not my natural signature. And then that gradually evolved to like Lisa D. Squiggle, which is my natural signature. And nobody, like, that's it. So yeah, anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and do our first 20-minute sprint. If I can find it up on the screen. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Let's see what we've got here. There we go. It just doesn't want to go. Okay, we're going to put 20 minutes up on the clock. We're going to write like the wind. Everybody's going to be productive, and it's going to be super awesome. All right, here we go, everybody. Starting in 3, 2, All right, so that's funny. When I was like really just like deep into the writing, and when I did not realize that time had passed so quickly, and so when I got the little doo doo doo, I was like, ah! I just about jumped out of my chair. So, how'd you guys do on that last sprint?
Got my post scheduled. I'm very pleased with that.
Yay!
Yeah.
Fantastic, love that. How about you, Robert? How are you doing?
I did quite well.
Very nice, very nice. Love it. Lisa D. Squiggle stealing that for You're welcome. Very nice. Lainey's got some. She's on our cover issue here, so that's good.
Hey.
Regarding your Amazon cover issues, what trim size are you selecting for you guys who do not know? I think most everybody knows here, but just in case you don't, if you're a newbie watching this, your trim size is the measurement of your book. So, like a book like this would be, I think it's 5.5 by 8. Common trim size is 5 by 8, 5.5 by 8, 6 by 9. Okay. So what trim size? I've been trying to go for 6 by 9. E-car, I have my cover professionally designed, but when I make updates, I have to do that myself. I realize you know what? This is why we're here, to answer these exact kinds of questions. So do not worry about it. Very, very nice. Oh, thanks so much, Mr. Vlandis. Welcome. We're happy to see you. All right, 6 by 9 trim size. Right, that's a standard size. What error messages are you getting with the file about dimensions or color profile or something different? Lainey is on it. Very nice. All right. 700 words. Yay! That's fantastic. You know what? Today is just a day of celebration. Never write anything because I'm too scared to try it, but this time I did it. It was fun. Yay! All right. That is awesome. We are super, super glad to hear about that. Fantastic. Free range female wrote 312 words on the last sprint. I love the waves, but since I'm writing a chapter that's perfect. I love that. That's also, was it just me, or did that sound like an old school phone where you would have someone saying like, Acme Products, how may I help you? All right, I'm gonna turn that into a meme. All right, not a meme, a GIF. All right, so, or if you're my son, a GIF. Okay, so you guys let us know what you are working on in the chat if you have not done so already. Yeah, that went really fast and good. Very nice. All right, when I order a proof, it's not centered top to bottom. Okay. Good to know. That's interesting. Well, it must be off with the file size. Did you, when you were making your adjustments to your cover, did you download the template that KDP will give you for blah blah blah? Sorry, I can't talk today. Did you download the template that Amazon KDP provides for you so that you can sort of just do it laid over? Like, does it look okay when you're looking at a digital proof and then it looks terrible when you get the paper copy, or it looks bad both places? I know, right? Fantastic. Well, you were saying that your phone ring, like,
it was the front door. The delivery man buzzes.
Oh, that's cool. So what I was saying is, like, that ring sounds like you should have a receptionist, like, Acme Products, please
I'm
hold.
not used to that. I've never lived in a place with a door buzzer before.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Very, very nice. All right, free range female, working on my debut novel, a romance thriller set in the 1970s. I love that.
Very cool.
I love that, which is kind of funny because, you know, the 70s is sort of like got kind of a vintage vibe. Mary Putnam's husband, Dave Putnam, who is a fantastic mystery author, has a new book coming out that is has like 70s vibe. So yeah, that's very cool. Super excited. Avi working on client work, but loving this Amazon formatting discussion, as I will be doing this in a few months. Fantastic. All right. Let us know, eCar ebooks, and Okay. Oh, here it is. When I ordered, is it just when you order the proof or when you look at, because you have to like approve a digital proof. So that's it. I want to know if it looks fine on the digital proof, but looks bad in printing. And
Mm.
also my other question is it, does it line up with the template that they give you for, like, you put in your trim size and your number of pages and your paper type? That is something that can impact things that a lot of people don't know about, right? There are different paper options, and this is why your final paperback cover file is different between Amazon and Ingram Spark, because they're using different types of paper, which all have, like, this one's a little heavier, a little thicker, this one's a little lighter, a little thinner. And so that can have an impact. It's just tiny, but it's just enough to screw everything off. That is what I'm thinking might be the thing. Did you switch paper type as well? Did you go like from white to cream? Because that can also make an impact. All right. It looks bad when you get the paper copies, but does it look fine digitally? Because if it looks fine digitally, it might have just been bad printing. Like they just effed up the file and did a bad job.
Yeah,
I would.
a lot of variables on that one.
There really are. If it looks okay on the, I mean, there are always some variances, right? That's why you have that little safe zone around the outside where maybe it wiggles this way, maybe it wiggles that way. And that is kind of hard. You basically want to sort of expand your design all the way out, but you can have a little bit of shifting with printing. That's just kind of the nature of it. But it shouldn't really be enough where you would like dramatically notice it. Okay. Lainey's got some more advice. Sounds like an issue with bleed. Bleed is the area, that safe zone, that's sort of just where the design goes off the page because they can't print all the way to the edge. So you have that little bleed, so they cut that off. The book's 6x9. The dimensions need to be a wee bit bigger than that to account for the differences with the cutting. Did not use the cover creator on Amazon, just using the PDF that my designer made for me. Well, that's good, because I think the cover creator on Amazon it's good in a pinch. It's excellent if you like need to create some advanced reader copies, because you can just like throw up your front cover, do a black background, and that's it. But yeah.
Or maybe ask the designer. Maybe they figured you would do something, or was just, yeah, I don't know.
My confusion is if it looks fine in the digital proof, why it would look bad in the printed proof, like in the printed author copy. That's the thing. If it looks right in the digital proof, I would reach out to Amazon and say, why does my book look like this?
Yeah.
I don't know. Lainey, any other advice? Let us know. Okay. Who's ready to do another sprint?
Yes, I am ready.
All right, fantastic. You know how it is though, like when you're productive, you got to like keep it rolling, right? All right, here's our screen. Dun, dun, dun. All right, everybody, we are going to get rolling with another 20-minute sprint up on the clock where we are going to right like the wind. Here we go. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's sprint. It would help if I turned my microphone back on, wouldn't it? So, how did everybody do on the last sprint?
Very good. Yeah, that was very productive. Even though I got another delivery and Rosa got set off all over again.
Really? How is Rosa adjusting to apartment life?
Oh, she's great.
That's
If she
fantastic.
can do a camper van, this is like, she has so much room, and we're like 2 blocks from the park. I can't remember if I told you guys that.
Mhm.
Oh,
So like she's getting tons of time outside, and yeah.
that is awesome. You know what I was wondering about this. So typically when people are talking about their New York apartments, they do not say we have so much room. It's so I
I'll
think
say that.
I know. I think that you have stumbled on something awesome. I think all people moving to New York apartments should spend a year in a van because
Yes.
then when you move to your apartment, it'll feel super roomy. Hi, Rosa. Just keeping everything safe. Okay. I think so. I think there's something to that. I think there's something to that for sure.
Yeah.
So, very, very
Yes, there definitely is.
very nice. You know what? At some point, Rosa will like get to know the sounds of the building. And so she'll know, like, oh, that's just Mrs. Smith across the street or
I
across the
hope
hallway.
so. I hope so. But the buzzer, man, that really sets her off. God.
She just is like, Odin is the exact same way, though. The doorbell goes off and he's like barking like crazy, like we can't hear, like, company's here. We've got a visitor.
One
gets pretty
delivery
excited.
person a couple weeks ago buzzed at like 3:49 a.m., which I don't think they're supposed to do. I think they're supposed to just leave the package if it's like a super early morning delivery. But he rang that buzzer, and Rosa was asleep on my bed, and I was asleep, and she turned into an immediate like dog tornado. Like, "Ah!" It was the rudest wake up.
That is a rough thing. That is a rough thing.
Yeah.
Get a dog.
I,
See little Odin back there. How's he
oh
doing?
yeah. So poor Odie, like he's now kind of deep into doggy dementia. So he, like, even though his medical issues are cleared up, he still sort of forgets where he is and has those. So we did have to put he's got a little doggy diaper on.
Oh.
I know. We always say it's his karate belt, right? He's out kung fu fighting, keeping the neighborhood safe. So yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, he's so fun. I'm sorry, I started laughing at Mary's comment. Love that, love that, love that. So e-car ebooks. I think I made several adjustments. I think that's where I got off track. I want to show you how you can check it in Canva. And what I'm going to do is set it up during the next break and then come back. What I do when I'm testing cover, well, let me see if I still have it up. If I don't, then I won't, because it would be too hard for me to pull together. But I'm pretty sure I have a guide still up on Canva. And so for a cover of mine. And so I'll show you what I do to make sure that everything is within the guidelines. So Mary's got a great question. So let me do that. I'll do that on the next break. Hopefully I still have it in my Canva. Probably I do. We'll just check. Mary wants to know, is anybody familiar with the clock drawing test for dementia? No.
No.
Thinking it could be a whole chapter in my Raising Parents book. Do kids these days and 30 and 20 somethings know analog clocks? I think they know that they exist, and I think they can basically read them. But here's the thing: the people whose parents are starting to get dementia are a little older, and they probably do remember analog clocks. But what are they going to do? They're going to have to come up with a new test in another like 10 years because but yeah, my guess would be yes. And if you put drawings in the in the book, then they can replicate it. So even if they can't do the even if they wouldn't know anything about the test, at least their parents will. I would think so. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think in 10 years you'll see retro clocks in stores for like several $100s.
True. Lady says my kids 15, 12, and 10 still do learn to tell time on analog clocks in school, and their public school classrooms have those big old clocks on the wall. That's true, right? When it hits 3
Mhm.
o'clock or
Yeah, that's
2:10,
true.
whatever the magic time is. Yeah. They know how to tell the time when it's 3 o'clock, I'll bet. Because that's when the buzzer goes off. All right. Very nice. Yes. That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. I think I'm so excited about your book, Mary, because I think that I was literally just having a conversation with my mom last night. Her best friend of like 50 some years is just got moved into memory care like a couple days ago. She's been in a supported living environment, and we knew she'd been diagnosed several years ago with Alzheimer's, but now she needs the memory care. But you know what they do? Okay, so when she initially moved into the home, which we called the lake house, when she initially moved in there, you have to get everything ready, and then you have one person that kind of keeps your family member occupied all day, and then maybe a couple other family members go in and set up the room. But when they moved her from the facility to the memory care place, basically my mom just took her out for the day. And when they came back, her whole room was set. It was like it just moved. So you guys are all young, but I remember being like a kid and watching you guys probably don't even know who Gallagher is. Does anybody remember Gallagher, the comedian? He used to do,
the
right?
watermelon guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Was that him? So he had this I think it was Gallagher. And Stephen Wright. I'm sorry. Let's talk 80s comedians for 100, Alex. So Stephen Wright, who, if you don't know anything about him, he has this really like deadpan delivery like this. And he had this bit where he would talk about last night I came back to my apartment and realized everything had been stolen and replaced with an exact replica. And that, which I always thought was kind of a funny idea, that someone would come in, steal all your stuff, but put everything back in the exact same spot. So that is essentially what happened to my mom's friend. They took her out to lunch. They came back, and her entire room was quietly moved into another room, but everything looked the same. So there you go. All right. Okay. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. Ecar eBooks says doorbell rings in the soundtrack of a movie and my dog still barks.
So Rosa will do that with like a knocking sound.
True.
Yep.
True. Yeah. Love that. That's hilarious. All right. Let's go ahead and do another sprint. In the meantime, I'm going to go dig around on my Canva really fast and find out whether or not I have a thing, and I'll show you how I take it down and see how it works. All right. Hold on. Let's do it. We need one more sprint up here today. All right. Here we go, everybody. It's our last one, so we got to make it count. Starting in 3. Okie dokie. We are back. How did everybody do on their last sprint?
Very good.
Yay! Awesome. Fantastic. All right. So, good news. We do have some cover stuff, so we can talk about that. I just wanted to say Kara shared that their late partner was diagnosed with early onset dementia at 55, which
Oh.
is so heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. I'm so sorry for your loss. Right at 55, you never expect it's going to be Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, oh goodness. Anyway,
Ugh.
thank you for sharing with us. And I want to say the terribly awesome woman, not the terrible old woman. I've officially changed your name just for today. So, very, very nice. Let's see. Here we go. So here is Amazon's cover calculator, and I'm going to just share. That's the link for it. I put it in the chat. I'm just going to share, maybe theoretically, what it looks like. If I can get it up, there we go. Okay, so all you do is just type in like what kind of binding you have, your interior type, paper, reading direction, meaning do you read right to left or left to right, measurement units, and trim size, your page count. And so you just fill out all that information, and then you can just click the little magic button and download a template. All right, now let me show you what we do with the template. Let me stop the screen. All right, so I'm going to uncheck that. Let's get to the, sorry. Takes me a second to switch. Okay, so this is what the template looks like, if you guys can see this. So this is what the template looks like. Obviously, it does not typically have the numbers on it. But this tells you this is the front cover, this is the back cover. You don't want anything, your design has to go all the way out to the edge, but you don't want anything that's in the in this red zone. That's not safe. It could be printed, but it probably won't be. Okay, which could be challenging. That can make it kind of challenging. So one of the things that I do is lay the template over top of the book cover design, and then I take the transparency back, way back, so that you can actually see your book cover underneath the template. But see, I can still see the red zone here, so I know none of my, like, the person's name. And thank you very much for to Mary Putnam for letting us use this, which just happened to be on my Canva with the thing already on it. So you know that all of your stuff has to stay within within those safe zones. And in particular, you cannot have like your spine copy bleeding over into the red zones. And so I'll just do this. This is what the final cover looks like, and it works out great. Actually, it must not be the final cover because it says need quote here. But other than that, that's what it would look like. And you can see it just fits perfectly. And it will tell you exactly how big to make it. So if you can see this, it'll say your overall dimensions are 12.768 inches by 9.250 overall. And so, and then it also tells you what the spine width is and whether or not it's black and white or color, how many pages, and what type of paper. So it's really super helpful. And obviously you'll want to do a new one for every single book that you're doing because it changes every time. But there you go. That's how we do it.
That is very cool.
Thanks. I hope that helped. Okay, let me get rid of this. Very nice. Let's see what we've got here. Smetana. Thanks, everyone. I just happened to see the event today. I ended up writing almost 1,800 words. I never write. I'm so thankful. I will be back next time. Thanks, everyone. You know what? We got to do it again. That is awesome. And I hope we see you back next Wednesday. We are here every Wednesday, or pretty much every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So we are super glad that you made it today. Hello, unknown messenger star. Very nice to have you here. Not only did I wander off, I wandered off. I feel that so hard today. Story Detective says, congrats again. Now that you've broken the ice, hopefully it'll be a habit. Love that. Love that. Very nice. All right. I hope that that helped as far as the cover creator stuff. Let us know if you need a little more advice. I think Lainey's got you pretty well straightened out, but hopefully between the link and the little, show and tell, that helps. Mama Ward says applied to join the local library's local author thing in May, hoping to be on a panel this year.
Ooh,
Good luck.
that's cool.
Good luck. And I did want to say, I think you had mentioned earlier, and I meant to get to it, and I did not. But I think it was Mama Ward who said earlier that in her particular area, that Pikes Peak Library system, that they were a little, let's say, cranky about having indie published authors in the library. This is not true for every library. There are plenty of libraries that will accept indie published books. And in fact, Lainey is an indie author. So the fact that her books are well worn and loved in the library is a great sign for anybody who is indie publishing. So there you go. All right.
Oh no, she did it again.
We almost made it through an entire stream.
Close. Oh my god.
Every time.
Every time.
10 minutes to go, and I haven't had any crazy things, StreamYard
Oh.
stuff, and then I was literally having the thought, and then it was. So there you go. Very, very nice. You are so welcome, eCar eBooks. I'm so glad that you've been popping in lately. So I'm very glad that helped. Oh, good. Thanks. That's very nice. Love that. Very, very nice. Unknown Messenger Star says, I got writer's block with my other books, so I had to switch to another one. I feel that. I think we have all been through that.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's really hard. I have a rom-com that I started to try to write in the pandemic. And I was like, it was one of those where I was so excited about the idea when I initially had it. I literally plotted the entire book at 3:00 in the morning in the bathtub. It was just one of those that came out like on my notes app, like all night in the bathtub. Not all night, but like probably for an hour in the bathtub. The whole book just poured out of me. And weirdly enough, during the pandemic, I could not be funny. I could not make it funny. I was just like, and I loved the book idea so much. I was like, okay, that's it. I am not going to write this book if I cannot be funny, because I do not want to ruin it. So I will save it for later.
Strangely enough, the novel I'm working on was a short story I started during the pandemic, and then I put it aside until last year because I had all these other ideas, and it actually turned into something.
I love that when that little passion project is like percolating. But I will say, I do find, and I think, Michelle, you had talked about this a little bit too, I think in an earlier live stream, where you'll kind of switch from one project to another on a pretty regular basis.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just mind, like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like I can't focus on one thing for too long.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people have that. What were you going to say, Robert?
That's partly why I'm glad that I started back with my art, because it's a different type of creative project.
Right.
That I think helps to fuel it better. Sometimes I had to go to another book, but I think the art is a balance I used to have when I was doing it, professionally for years. But once I stopped, I kind of lost the balance along with some other things, but I'm finding it again. So.
Yay, I'm so glad to hear it. I will say that like the last time, well, it wasn't the last time, it was like my first sort of big writing slump, where I was going on for days and weeks and months, where I really was challenged with writing. And that was the thing that saved me. I actually did this beautiful capiche shell chandelier, which was it was beautiful. I saw it every day as I walked past my kitchen table, but it was inspiring and creative, and I had to solve problems to make it work. And that was the thing that got me back into writing. Sometimes your brain, you still need to be creative, but it's a good thing to take the break. All right. Free range female. I've started many books only to hit a wall and never want to see them again. Fortunately, I've been excited for this one for almost a year. I know I'll finish it. Yay!
Great.
That is great. What were you going to say, Robert?
Makes me think of something else too, because I've seen so many people dive into writing and put out the first book that they work on when you think about it though, writing a few books before you do that actually makes your writing better and you're launching better than just when you don't have a clue of what you're doing.
So here's the thing. I can agree with that in principle. And also, and like when I look back at my first novel, which was the first novel I ever wrote, like when I look back at the first novel that got published, that was the first novel I ever wrote. There are things, I have a great love of parentheses in that novel that I would probably try to tone down a little if I were redoing it. Although I will say, when I got my rights back from Penguin and re-released it, which is, if you, oh, you can't see it. So my beautiful, hopefully I won't like knock the camera. There we go. Can you see the cover back there? Look how pretty that is. 15 Minutes of Shame. So when I re-released it, I went in thinking, oh, I'm going to go in and I'll take some stuff out. But what I realized is like, there is something magic in a first novel, like the first one you finish. And I ultimately decided like, it's not perfect, but I'm going to leave it because I didn't want to mess with the magic. So yeah, but
yeah, there's something in that. I mean, my first novel was a mess. The idea of it, I guess, was okay, but it turned into something that could have been 2 or 3 novels wrapped into one. And I struggled with that thing for like 3 years. And I was busy all the time. And I thought, well, maybe that's it. And I thought I was getting ready. And, that's when Stein agreed to look at some of my work. And when he started critiquing it, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
Yeah, a good coach or mentor can like, right, you want someone who gives you enough encouragement that you keep going, but enough constructive feedback that you get better and that you're not continually repeating the same mistakes. Mary says, I need to paint again. I think while painting, I get a lot of other ideas. This is how I am when I'm floating in the water, like, or taking a bath, right? Bath, pool, or floating on top of the pool when it's super cold. Mary says, yes, my hubby wrote 60 plus novels before the first one got traditionally published. Maybe we shouldn't tell people that. Okay, so first of all, Dave is like a natural storyteller, and it is hard to get published. Although let's say this, he did end up getting traditionally published, and has, I don't know, gosh, he's published quite a lot. I mean, he's pretty prolific, which is fantastic. Aw, did you? Thank you so much. So sweet. My Spooky Middle Grade is not my first work, but it will be the first finished works. Hoping I don't look back years from now and reread it with cringe. You know what? Don't. It's the first. It's like if you go like, well, I hope I don't hate my first kid in the future, right? You're gonna screw things up. You will have screwed things up because every book has something in it that's screwed up. It doesn't matter how good you are, how many awards you've won, or if you hit the bestseller list. Every book has something in it where later you go back and you go, well, I might have changed that if I did this again today. But just love those books. Those books are good, and readers can feel that. I don't even know what to call it, like vibration or whatever. Like they can feel your passion. I would take a passionate, but not passionate, like, although I do like those, but I would take a book written with passion that's a little underdeveloped than a book that's perfect, but flat emotional. You know what I mean? Like you can feel that exchange with the author for sure.
And some people do learn more quickly. I mean, it depends on the person, depends on a lot of different circumstances. Then you hear the other stories, like Larry Brooks said he wrote 15 years before he got the first one published. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot that happens to a lot of authors for sure. I always thought my story was a little bit unique because I don't know any other authors that, well, I shouldn't say that. I know a few, but I didn't, for years, I didn't know any other authors who like had their first book published. Like typically it's like your second or third attempt. So authors way better than me. So love this. The thing that made the difference for me was discovering David Cassidy on YouTube. He's been my muse for a 70s pop idol. Love it.
That's awesome.
It is. I love that. And he's a fan. So I have a friend, Lisa Earl McLeod, who's a little older than I am, and she had a mad crush on David Cassidy. Like, so I was like I was born later, and so I'm still older than a lot of you guys, but I was like more in the Sean Cassidy years, so I think that was his little brother, as I recall. But David Cassidy, Lisa Earl McLeod has such, even now, love and affection for, even after all these years. So he's perfect. And then you know what? There's another great book that was also a great. I think it was an HBO series, which is Daisy Jones and the Six, which also is like a 70s, set in the 70s. And they did a really nice job with that. Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Love that. Mr. Vlandis says, my books are never perfect. Well, join the club, the author club. Very nice. So, yeah, you just can't help it. You just can't help it. You're welcome. We love you. All right. Oh my gosh, look at the time. It's 1:00 already. This was a really fun day. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Before we go, let's quickly say our goodbyes. Michelle, I'm going to let you go first. Tell us a little about you and your awesome channel before we go.
All right, I'm Michelle Schusterman. I write middle grade and young adult books, and my channel is on hiatus, and you can find Writing Workshop, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Workshop videos on the backlist.
Very nice backlist. Story Detectives, tell us a little about you and your awesome channel before we go.
Well, my channel's been on hiatus for a little while now, but it is the Story Detective, and I take various forms of storytelling and put it under my Sherlockian lens and break down the craft for the viewer. There is a backlist there, and new videos will start being filmed by next week if all goes as planned, and new videos by spring.
Fantastic. Yay, I'm so excited. Well, even though I don't think we've ever had like a 6 crowd applause stream before, it was totally worth it. We had a ton to celebrate, so I'm super proud of all of you. Anyway, so I'm Lisa Daly. On my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published, and I write contemporary romance, primarily rom-coms, and nonfiction writing advice. So thanks so much for being here, you guys.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Keep those keyboards clacking.
I can't push the button until Robert says the thing.